your interactive ads. I'm looking forward to doing this. Hopefully you had fun and learned a bit about the logic behind this stuff and a little bit about animation, honestly. You learned the basics of animating stuff. That's called keyframe animation. And you've also learned the basics of programming a little bit with just the ideas, which is kind of the whole important part here. Anyhow, I'm looking forward to see what you did. So let's take a look at these. Again, let me reiterate that you will be best served by watching the whole video. And you might say this video is an hour long. Well, in class, in a face-to-face class, this is what we would do for an hour and a half, is go over the videos. We spent 75 minutes at least of me and the class critiquing together. And that was one thought of how to use your meeting time weekly. But in reality, I think the demos have been beneficial to you. But if you feel different, please let me know in the week 7 module for feedback, because I am always looking for ways to make this a better experience. All right, Shelby. Qualifications for assistants. I like this. I like it a lot. The United Way logo looks a little squished. So it's an oval here. It's an egg shape. And I'm fairly certain it should be round. So you might want to check your fitting on that and make sure it's fit proportionally. I like this though. You got good information. You got a call to action. Here's the qualifications. Nice, nice, nice. Doesn't look like I am going to qualify. But I like this. It's useful. We have this piece of dead space here. And I'm wondering if some of this information that is on the right-hand side here could be brought across the top. Maybe and then you can make this program dates a little larger, and then make these other things a little more attention grabbing. So stay away from just putting everything in boxes. I think that utilizing space that you have here. This is just real estate that's not being put to use. Where a headline going across it to grab your attention, and you can have the program dates. You can make this little thing a little better, which is if you or a loved one, which is a great call to action, right? It might not be you, but it might be someone else. Let's look at your assistance locations. Beautiful. I like it. Let's go home, see if we got to watch the animation again. And we don't. That is a fantastic job. Fantastic. So that sound you just heard was my long distance high five to you. Little minor tweaks to make it perfect, but this definitely top quality work. All right, let's look at the next one. James. All right. So I think you have your animation a little backwards. I would grab people's attention first with Help Fight Hunger today. Good call to action. It seems you didn't really take any of the feedback that I gave you in your critique video. So I'm not going to rehash what I've already critiqued. But I did say this, but I will reiterate a bit of it for everybody who did not go revisit their work, and that's fair enough. The redos weren't due until the end of the semester, basically. But I want to definitely, yeah, this is just a bit boxy. That's my feedback here. This is all just a bunch of boxes, and I think there's better ways to do it. And then these buttons definitely feel like an afterthought. I definitely, animation-wise, would retime this so that the headline and maybe this comes up first, second, and then the little buttons can come up. They're not very attention-grabbing. If you're wanting someone to donate, it should be attention-grabbing. Yeah, so let's get people's attention. Let's see what happens here when we go to contact. All right. A little vanilla, and the background doesn't add anything. You're not using any of the space graphically. And this was for contact, so I guess this is everything. There's email. Is there a website? This looks a little odd with this zip code all by itself. I would break that down into 2 lines like we're used to seeing addresses. And you might even want to put the person's name. Let's personalize this. Who is this? Is it Bob Smith or Jody Jones? I think that would be good. So giving it a face to somebody, or somebody that you might want to reach out to, their contact. Let's go back home, and we're animating again. Okay, so that's not best practices. The best practice is to go to a flat page because you're just making people wait. And again, the layout could be improved. Again, home and context, all of this just feels very afterthought-ish. And I see that you wanted to keep it in the same place. I understand that. But the same place comes from you putting it on the first page without redesigning any of it, without making an affordance or a location for these buttons. I think you could have come up with a better place originally. Nice. I like that you're breaking down what the information is. $10 buys me 30 meals for people. Hey, dinner on the table for a month for $5. I want to donate to this. This gets a little weird again when you're breaking off everything else is in a direct line. So that should be here and this should be moved somehow, right? So your backgrounds are a little dull, a little on the, how could I put it? Just basic side. I think you could have done a little more gradients, a little something, something. It could have been a logo in the background. It could have been an image that's barely visible. A lot of opportunities. So I think there's room for improvement here. I will be allowing redos on all projects up until all projects that are left, that is, which is this one, and I think we have one more, until the very last Sunday of this class, which I believe is the 27th at 11:59. All right. Well played, sir. Chelsea. Let's see what you brought me. Ooh, kitty, kitty. Nice. I like the animation. I like the way those come in together. You're not spending a lot of time, but you are drawing attention to this. I like this. Face. Become a monthly donor. So this is where I would click to become a monthly donor. Nice. And you're taking me to the face page. That is wonderful. You know, I just remembered as I'm going through these critiques, I'm not grading, I haven't graded these yet, is that I think one of the requirements was that one of the buttons take you somewhere off location. So I'm going to be checking for that. Become a monthly donor, nice. That takes you back home. So, okay, a little bit of typography feedback. Everything here is in the same font and most of it is in the same size. So most everything has the same amount of emphasis on it. I would suggest adding some variety to what we're looking at with either coloring the type somehow, but I think more simply you could do it by simply changing from everything being a semi-bold or a bold font to a regular font or a demi-bold, you know, something a little lighter. Add some variations in the weight. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's go back home. And you gave me a flat page. Hurrah, hurrah. Schedule a spay or surgery, what to expect, $125, that's a bargain. Again, everything, there's no hierarchy at all in your typography. Everything is, the information is all weighted the same. And I would break it up into 2 different paragraphs, one for kitties, one for doggies, maybe, you know, 2 sets of information. And then use just smaller types, font size, or maybe weight to differentiate some of the information, right? Because the important stuff is it's $125, so we know it's accessible. And then when the check-in and check-outs are, that's good. And schedule an appointment takes you to their website. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Outstanding job. So if I have critiqued yours and you haven't had it open another page, you should go back and make sure that that gets done for the assignment. I encourage you to revisit your work because I would rather have you have a perfect piece in your portfolio rather than having errors that someone instantly sees and then you know, starts to form an opinion over that. Having been in creative my whole life, and I don't know how this stands for other facets of the communications business, but I know that as far as a graphic design portfolio, it is only as strong as your weakest piece. So I always try to make everything as perfected as possible. You know, if the client ruined it and wanted changes, I would include the one I designed and not the one with the changes they demanded. Because in the end, you were hiring me for my skills and not for what the client deemed to be best. I like this typography. So we have 2 different weights. and you're giving me a little more emphasis on this with the drop shadow. And what an amazing picture. I've noticed a few students just going out to the pink line in InDesign, and you can go all the way to the edge. The pink line is like the warning track in baseball, right? The sand right before the wall, so that the person running backwards can sense the safety zone and slow down before they slam into that wall 100, at 100% speed. And that's what this little gap here for. It's just telling you that anything you put here might get cut off. But some people like the framed look, and I'm not against it in this particular case because it's white with the white and the white. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Learn more. Let me learn more. What's happening? Okay, so it gets actually, it's not too hard to read at all. It's nice and big. So if you have to put something over a background that is busy and changing, my recommendation always is to make it large and keep it simple, and this does both. Be the change that takes me, okay, how I can help, avoid single-use plastics. Oh my gosh. So this is the same one from previously. This is such a great remake of what we had before. There's no way back home. Okay, so you already give us a way to navigate back and forth, back to the beginning. Let me replay this. So you got the nice animation on here. No animation on here. I'm a little confused. Let me play this again. All right, Brandon, I think you've definitely upgraded your layout. You have no animation, and that's one of the requirements. And you also don't have a way for me to get back, so this is a little incomplete. And you don't have a link taking me to another website. I do like your uses of the drop shadow here to separate this. In this case, even though the word's over white, you managed to make it readable. So kudos to you, though, sir. I think it's because you went to the left with the drop shadow, which makes the beginning part of the letter form more visible, as opposed to going to the right, which is what I normally do. I may have learned something here. So yeah, so I think you have a few things to tweak here, right? We need to have navigation consistent throughout. You should navigate somewhere else, but this is a huge upgrade to your previous design, and I commend you on that, sir. High five. All right, Ms. Bolden. These are both the same link, it looks like, so I'll just click on one of them. All right. Interesting navigation or animation. I'm going to give you the same feedback. I'm not going to reiterate everything from the previous critique of this assignment, but it does lack a real focal point and a real relationship to community. I'm still not clear what the Gray Rose organization is. What is their function? Maybe you're going to tell me? All right, this is what that first page should be, or something like this. I need some navigation, right? I need to be able to go back to where I'm going. I know that this thing exists, but if you distribute this embedded into an email, that's not going to be there. But this is a much more what I was talking about, right? If you show me community, you show me people, then you're showing me something of interest. And then there's this page here. Okay, so you're showing me the decay and the dilapidation. All right. So I advise you to go back and listen to your first critique of this, because I spent 75 minutes on that critique. Not yours, but all of them. And I'm not going to go back and do everybody's over. But there's some good input on this that can make this go from okay to great. Right now, this doesn't fulfill all of the requirements because I can't navigate freely back and forth. There is no back button. There is no way to tell. And the main point from my last critique was I'm unclear of exactly that you're adding clarity with the images. I think that is great. I like the fact that you showed me more than just the broken thing, but this as a first page just has two unimpactful images, really. I don't know what Gray Rose is, and maybe there ought to be a page about Gray Rose organization, who they are and what their mission is. And then a page about this specific this specific basketball court, and maybe showing a picture from the past when in its heyday, when it was in great condition, if there is one available. That would be an amazing, right? Here's how it used to be, and look at it now. That is an impactful message to send to somebody. Well played. All right, Evan, Mr. Krause. For once, you're not the first one up. Okay. It's a great show, by the way, if you're a Grateful Dead fan. Live at the Greek Theater, 1984. Yeah, classic. All right, choose an adoption. Indiana Bulldog Rescue. If you hadn't told me it was going to cost me 16 grand, which is about what I spend on a used car. But they're so beautiful. And look at the ears on that baby. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, dogliness is next to godliness. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. I wonder how much dog insurance costs for bulldogs, because I have health insurance in my other dogs. Okay, I am totally getting distracted by the dogs. So you have already, oh my gosh, when I'm due for another dog, I might just get a little fugly. Adoption application, beautiful. Okay, so you've covered the basis here with your external links. Let's go to donations page. Nice. I like that you got a Venmo there. That's an instant call to action. I might just send them some money right now. Maybe after this video. Home and adoptions. Home should take me home. And let's review this. There was animation on the words coming in. Yes, sir. And very subtle animation. Good animation is an animation that whacks you in the eyeball, pokes your eyeball out, and makes your eyes water. Good animation is something that feels comfortable, and it reveals information in a comfortable way. Well done. Well done, Mr. Krause. I don't think I have a single thing I want to do except donate and adopt. So you've done an amazing job with that. I'm going to keep that one open. Sorry, folks. All right. Aaron. All right. Again, you didn't take any of my feedback from the very first iteration of this, so I suggest you go watch that video because this could be made better just on the outset. I see no buttons and no locations to go to, and this is one page, so that's a problem. This is not the assignment. And then the order things came in. So let me critique what you did give me, sir. The order things came in. The type is omnipresent there when I get there. The background, if anything is going to be present, well, when this animation starts, it should be the background image, right? And maybe it's zoomed in and it zooms back. And I would consider filling the entire frame and not just part of the frame. I would go all the way to the edges of the design, like in the previous one. And then the order things came in was a little odd too, because this is here, then this is here, then this is here. So it's almost directly backwards. And then be careful about type. It needs to be treated with dignity and respect, and it's running into this picture here. So I applaud the work that you did accomplish on this, and I understand you're in season and all this. But for the redo, I would say add your other pages and make sure that we go to Martha's Table and seriously consider listening to your critique of the basis of this, of the first ad that you did for this. Because I think that'll give you a better informed and a better final product, because you'll have a better starting point. Good job, Aaron. Bryce, let's see what you brought me. Charity water. All right, this is big. Let's see if I can get this to... What is going on here and why is this like this? Okay, I'm not sure what or how. You gave me a PDF. Sir, you needed to actually do this as an interactive, as a web page. And that actually does HTML5, I believe it is what builds HTML5. So let's see how you got that. Let's see how you did. So we got rollovers on all of this, probably because it is this. This doesn't take me anywhere. Nor does this, because I don't think that the interactivity works the same with an interactive PDF as it does with a HTML5 HTML file. Let's find out. Yeah, so none of your buttons are going to work. So that's already a problem. And I like what you're doing here. Yeah, this was basically the same thing you had for your last one. Pretty close to it. So I would watch this video, and I think you might have watched the video because you definitely gave me a much more impactful opening. I think it's the interactivity here that's boggling my mind. But you need to have all the pages so that they navigate to each other. We need to have some animation when it loads. Let me reload this page. Is that what happens when I hit Command R? I reloaded that page. Probably because I think this is embedded in here. I'm going back to it. Yeah, so you exported this in the wrong format. And your buttons might work. If I don't know what the underlying programming is here. So you might actually have this all right. And this page could use a little color. It's just very, very drab. Even making it a sand color or a brownish, taupish, neutral color is what I'm going with. That would be good. I'm not sure why the bullet points are so far away from the amounts. Or sponsor an entire water project. So you've got everything, all of the type except for the headline is the same size. And when you emphasize everything, you emphasize nothing. So consider making some things bolder, some things not bold, something smaller, something's bigger. So the donate one time and donate monthly, that should be better distinguished. I just picked that up now while I started critiquing the page. I did not read that immediately. Yeah, I think you could use some font size changes. I think making the buttons work is going to change everything here. I think you've done a really nice job. I know you listened to my last critique because you did bring a really nice job bringing some color to this. I just wish this page had some color. Pick a color out of one of these images that are already existing and just use that. I would probably pick something in the neutral zone. Well played. Not perfect, but well played. I go backwards. I don't close this, otherwise I'll be reloading this page. Okay. And I'm not sure why I'm here. There we go. But there's no grade there. And no comment. All right, let me get down here. Taryn! Oh, so you definitely watched my critique, and I definitely appreciate what you did here. This logo is fuzzy because it was too small to begin with. So I suggest maybe finding a higher resolution version. Oh, and this is a quiz. I like this. Nice. There's this big empty gap here that is a little awkward, and I think these buttons could be better distributed. It would also be really cool if they popped out of this design more. So right now when I squint my eyes, everything is very blue and any kind of information is in white. What if in your design these hexagons were white and the numbers were the darker blue, maybe the blue from the border, if that was a blue that was intended, or even just that same darker blue that you're using. I think that would make these numbers pop and give us more focal points on here. As it is right now, it all kind of is the same color. The same color. So let me click on the wrong one because I read your ad. I like what you've done with this. You've made this a true infographic and a little quiz. And you're putting the facts in here, Taryn. Outstanding, outstanding. Okay, you've got, I know the number 5 is the correct one because I did see the ad. I like that again. All right, so I really just have, besides what I just said about the numbers in the front and kind of the arrangement of the elements and the blurriness of the logo, this is awesome. This is awesome. You have made a great presentation. A couple of things to make this even better. Consider adding a gradient to the background or a little something something. What if? Very light, 15% opacity maybe. Just something very, very light. In the background of every page is this Boys and Girls Club logo, this kind of hands interlocking or mountains and rivers, depending on how you want to look at it. What if that was just in the background, barely perceptible? It breaks up the space and it has instant relevance to the ad as well as unity in the ad, right? And I would consider badging every page with the Boys Club or Boys and Girls Club thing, right? The same logo should be on every page so that we know exactly where we're at. I know it was on their shirts. You don't have to tell me, and here it says it. See how they did that? What if that was in the background behind here just subtly? I think that would help tie everything together. All right, one last nit to pick. This picture's not quite centered, and neither is this type. This is longer than this. All right, and did you do some animation? I think you did, if I don't recall correctly. You did. Fantastic. That works. Nice. I love what you did with this. I love this. Could be a little better, but I love it. Olivia, interactive. And let's see what you brought me. Let's see what you gave me. Let's see what we have. Nice. You're showing me people and faces. That's beautiful. OMG. Just what the doctor ordered. That's wonderful. I like the animation. It was subtle. It wasn't too much. Let's watch the animation one more time. Yeah, I like the way it all comes in. Our impact. Like you're showing me real people. Okay, you have a little bit of your pictures off here. I think it just might have got nudged by accident when you went to export maybe or went to save, but your picture's a little off on this border here. And your type is a little close to this edge, so I think your whole kind of layout got nudged over somehow. Like it's all locked together and it should all be, because this is a little too far to the right. We're in very dangerous space here. But I love what you did with the pink outline, our impact. That adds a little something, something, right? That's that extra little spice, a little finishing spice at the end. I like it. I'm giving you a chef's kiss for that one. Go back home and no animation. Beautiful detection and treatment. Lovely. I like that. You know, I never would have thought of putting a pink outline, and that is just perfect. It makes it just more special. Notice, folks, if you're watching this when you're watching all of them, how she used different font sizes and different treatments to differentiate information, and not everything is the exact same treatment. So here is more information. There you go. Schedule a mammogram. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. So maybe it was the word here that was actually active. I think you have to get it on the type. Oh, it's mammogram here is the button, not the top part. Aha. I'll go back home. I like the little outline, just home all by itself there too, our impact. Very, very nicely done. You're off a little bit right up here on your board. If you look at that, I didn't notice it on the first one. Let me reload the page. It might not be that way on the first one. It is like that on the first one. So that little border right there, just watch your edges. Well done. Well done. And again, everyone can submit a redo up until 11:59 on the Sunday, the 27th. Let's see. Scroll back down. That was you, Olivia. Genesis. I can't wait to see this. You've done such good work all semester. Nice. Okay. I like what you're doing here. Empowerment. Oh, and I like that a lot. I like that a lot. This looks like it was a screen grab, and which is fine. I have no heartburn with any of that. I like the information. They're going to take me back home. I like that we don't have to watch the animation again. That's good. And here is the other page. Nice. These little white borders at the top and bottom just feel a little weird. So I would say expand everything to get rid of those borders. I think the black border is absolutely fine. Really good photograph to use. I love it. It would be great if this had a button to take me back, right? So a home button on this page as well. I also need a link to take me somewhere external out of here, right? Does this take me external? Where does this take me? It's like it's a button, but it's not going anywhere. Is this supposed to take me off land? All right. So I know by looking at this, you didn't watch my critique video for the original ad. And I think if you take the information I give you there and apply it here, you're going to elevate this to go from what's a really nice piece of work to an amazing piece of work. It's just about the color treatment of these elements and how they're all competing in the same color space. So go watch that. I encourage you. Oh, I like the red rollover. That's lovely. Again, I just wish I was taken somewhere off land here, off base, to go to the Girls Club website, because that is one of the requirements. You take me, either open a file, which you can do, or you can take me there. Nicely done, though. I'm really impressed. Watch that other video. It's going to elevate that first page, and then add a little something, something to that last page to make it worthwhile, right? Talk about the unity it brings. Talk about how girls go on to do great things after being in the club. All right. JJ. Give the kids, so you did listen to my critique. Thank you very much. Give kids the World Village, the bravest kids and their families. All right, so your distribution of items here is just a little odd. This background picture doesn't cover the entire thing. So I'm not sure if there was an issue with artboard size or something. I'm not sure what happened, but bring the graphics all the way to the edges. You can make your actual artboard a little smaller. If you do that, make sure you don't put it too close to the edge, right? Always treat art with or type with dignity and respect. But it feels to me like somehow this background got shrunk. That's what it feels like. It feels like this background image should be going from edge to edge because of the way you distributed everything else. And it just got shrunk. All right, let's see what else we got. Let me watch that animation again. Nice. I like the little yellow outline on this. Nice. Okay, so it's a bit much on the animation. It just feels like it takes a little while. I'm going to time this using the little stopwatch in the upper right-hand corner. I don't know if you can see it or not. But I'm in 3, 2, 1, and go. So it took, oh, it's still going. Yeah, so that was a full 8 seconds. That was a full 8 seconds, which is a bit much to make anybody wait in this day and age. So my suggestion is I like the very beginning of the animation when 1 and 2 come in, and I would bring 3, 4, and 5 in together. These as a group, these as a group, or you could bring in all the buttons together and then just dissolve up the family experience and all the other things. Also, the buttons are really far away from their labels. They're like this giant gap. And I would bring them closer together to kind of give them more of a feel of being unified. All right, the village. All right, not sure why we got 2 boxes on here. I don't think that's adding anything. And quite frankly, the color black in our culture is the color of death. Not very Disney-like. So I suggest finding yourself an image like you had on the first page. Oh, the home button doesn't work. Good thing we have arrows. What just happened there? Oh, I zoomed in somehow. I have never seen these controls at the bottom before. Interesting. I'm going to go back to page 1. All right. So that was the visit experience. Those were 2 black boxes. Find an image that could be in the background. It could just be of 2 hands being held, a little kid's hand and an adult's hand, right? Faded in the background. Right now, and then these pictures could be over it, right? Right now, just all of that black is so foreboding. And then what that black does is it makes this feel like just a cutout add-on. Remember, I think in your previous critique, I mentioned that whenever you have like a logo that is just snipped into a box and then tacked in, it always feels just like an afterthought, like someone got out the old stick of stick glue and, you know, pasted it all together. Interesting. Okay, a little double, triple clicking makes it big. I'm gonna go to your next navigation point here. So always give your user a way back to go where they started from. And I know you're trying to do that. I'm not sure why it's not working. Is this a PDF? No, you published it correctly, sir. Sign up today should take me abroad, and it does. It takes me to a distant destination. This color purple and these little doodads, that would have been so much better for instead of the black. So that was my instant inspiration. I saw this and look how this logo is treated here. That's beautiful. All right, so take some cues from who you're working with and, you know, borrow from them, right? All right, so home still doesn't work. I'm not sure why. I'm just going to go through these in order here. I'm going to suppose that one takes me here. Nice. Again, purple would have been so much nicer. And then having the purple go all the way around to frame it. And having some like Disney doodads, ribbons, streamers, the magic hat kind of thing that Mickey wears. Just something in the background. A little something to suggest Disneyness would be really, really nice. As it is right now, this black just feels added in, and then it all feels framed by this white. Just feels a little random, and it doesn't feel as cohesive as it could be with just a couple of simple changes, like a cohesive background. Make one background for all of the pages that you use just behind everything, right? What does that do? It gives you instant unity. Always, always, always in advertisements, make sure you do not have hyphens. I said that a lot in my previous. This must be your flat page that we're supposed to be navigating to. Aha. Yeah, I think this has got great bones. I think with a few minor tweaks and just double checking on the programming, this could really, again, more hyphens. So make sure you don't have hyphens. I like your font choices. I like the fact that they're different sizes, different treatments, differentiating buttons from backgrounds. Good job. Good job. A little room for improvement, but darn good for your first attempt. All right, I'm keeping that open because dogs. All right, Travis. All right, I'm not sure that you watched my last one because I critiqued this pretty seriously. And I still don't understand what grass has to do. It's still not, at this point, from the outset, from the opening page, not communicating mental illness to me in any way, shape, or form. So you're relying on me to read and not communicate with imagery in any way. And not that like I said, you picked a tough one here, right? This is a button. We're going to go to it. Is this a button? I'm going to look at all the buttons. All right. So contact, pretty plain, pretty basic. A little something back there. I mean, I don't understand what all the red stuff is for. This is about mental illness, and this thing looks not soothing, calm, and collected. All right. Ideally, your home page would be flat for the second time around, so I wouldn't have to watch the animation again. All right, so you've gone through the motions and you've given me almost the minimal, and you should also have a way of going off of this to another website, and this would be the ideal button for that. My suggestion is to watch the first video. Let that inform the layout decisions you make, and then actually spend some time with those inside pages, because quite frankly, they're placeholders in my book. They don't do much of anything from a graphic standpoint to elevate this. The red boxes, I mean, it's something, but which is better than nothing. But it's the first time we see red, and this is about mental health and the stigma behind it. And none of these pages go to support that, and very little of this information, though, as presented, does too. So go watch that first video, because I spent a good amount of time talking about it. I think you'll find it helpful. All right, Amanda. Read now. You're showing me pictures. You're showing me cute, adorable kids. Oh my God, Amanda, you have elevated this so much. Only thing I would consider is making this box smaller so we're not running over the kid so much and becoming so close to his face. I think it should end somewhere, if I can get this to get big, right about there. So we have about equal distance of framing for the words, right? And that's going to pull it off of him. I'm going to suggest, this is so much better. You clearly watched my first video and took everything to heart, and I appreciate that about you. I would suggest, instead of just going with boxes, which is kind of, they're just boxy and they feel boxy, and boxes are pointy. What if you had ovals or ellipses or, hearts? Hearts seem to be a real theme here. What if you grabbed one of these graphic hearts to be the shape that these things go into, the house goes into, right? It could be an outline of a house or of a heart in white, right? You could have white hearts here. Just a thought. Just a thought. But this is amazing already. as far as elevating it. Indie locations. Nice, nice, and nice. I love it. It says Ronald McDonald House right to me. Learn more should take me to their website. Bless your soul. It does, it does. Home should take me to home without any animation. Let's watch the animation again. And you kept it super simple. I like it. I would suggest, let me watch that again. Having these boxes gone and fading them all in when you fade in indie locations. Just because it allows this image in the background, you might even want to wait a second before the animation starts, it to allow the image in the background to give the impact. Because this image right here of this mom kissing this adorable child, that is money. That is just amazing. I can also consider making both of these buttons to the same place, because twice now I wanted to click on this thinking this was a label, and the label is the button. So if you make them both this way, I'm not wrong. And users don't like to be wrong. All right. So I like the fact that you're showing people avoid at all costs putting people type over people's faces. Our first instinct is to look at someone's eyes, and this person's eye right here is completely covered, and this person's eye right here is like painfully covered, and this lady got lucky enough not to get anything in her eyes. So there's enough room here where the food is, right? And then your headline is really, really long. So how about volunteers make a difference? That could fit right over their heads. And then you could bring this underneath here, or right under their chins could be the rest of that paragraph right here. And right under her chin could be the rest of this. I like it, I like it, I like it. Let's become a volunteer. Gonna take me there, perfect. I love this. Oh my gosh, you've elevated this so far. Those are all your pages. That was all the requirements. Great job. Consider the corners just feel a little, again, added on. The fact that these have more transparency feel much, much less pasted on than these two. These feel very pasted on because of their lack of transparency. Again, that's why I suggested a shape, something more fun than a box, maybe adding some transparency to it. Fun, fun. A little pixelated on this graphic. I think you could maybe find a higher res version or make your own. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain making each letter a different color. But at the same time, that way you could put it on top of a white box, and then you could have the type with 0% transparency, right? So it would be 100% opaque, and then the background be the transparent part, and it will pop. That type would pop as much as this graphic down here. Really well done. Well done. I am impressed. Thank you for taking my feedback. It's much appreciated when I spend the time to critique that I actually see the results of the critique. All right. Caitlin, hopefully you've watched through this and you made it this far. All right. Caitlin, you did not watch my other critique prior to doing this because this is intended to be, I'm not going to repeat everything. I'm not. But it's intended for Bulldogs. It's going to be distributed to Bulldogs. So I don't think we need a overly Butler brand things. If you look at how Butler distributes stuff to how the College of the President and the College of the Administration, College Administration distribute things, it's not overly branded. It's kind of subtle. And then the more important thing that I said in that critique was you have type over people's faces. And faces are what is money in this world, right? Faces are what we relate to. So I'd go back and watch that. I also talk about the typography down here, the very bottom, how everything you had in your original, a lot of this is all caps and it's hard to read. Let's learn how. All right, so I would suggest taking this background all the way to the edges. I like that. Why not let the Bulldog and the Butler way live without being it? Because there's this empty space here, why not just bring all of that information down, and then these buttons could be maybe perhaps over here. I know you were trying to fill the space, but the Butler way, that's pretty cool looking. I'm not sure where that is on campus. I need to find that. It looks like it's in maybe Hinkle, judging from the windows. Nice. I've been in there in a few years. So I like that as a background, and I would keep using it. I'm not sure you need animation on every page. I think that might be a little overkill. I think that keep it super simple, right? I don't think we need to animate everything. Um, the only thing you might want to animate is CPR is now hands only, right? You have four fonts on this page. One, that's the same one, two, three fonts. I would probably stick to two of them. And the font that's the odd one out is this all caps condensed bold font. So you might want to consider how that fits in with the rest of the scheme here. All right. Well played, well done. I will have grades posted for these in later on today. I like to critique first and then digest and then grade. I think everyone here did some people did an outstanding, amazing job in just improving their work from their previous iteration, and some people could have used the feedback they were provided from their previous iteration. Overall, I think everyone did a good job. Not all of these are complete, so your grade is going to reflect that, right? Not everybody had all of the pieces that are required for this. And then I would suggest paying attention to your critiques because I like to see a redo, especially if there's room for improvement. Some of these were A work here right off the box, right off the bat. Absolutely. First thing I saw was A work. And then some of these could use a little bit of A work help. So, to get up from a C or a B up to an A. All right, I've talked long enough. Thank you for watching this critique video. I appreciate you and your hard work.